Hiya, Matt Baker here with the Petcast. Now, this is a podcast all about pets, so I am towing my caravan as a mobile studio all around the country to meet famous people and not just talk about their pets, but to meet their pets as well. If you can hear barking and the odd tannoy, that is because I brought the Petcast caravan to Goodwoof. It's a festival all about dogs on the Goodwood Estate in West Sussex. Now, I am here to meet this week's guest. Now, he is a comedian. He's been making us laugh. He's been winning awards for 2 decades. He's also a presenter. He's got a great show on Radio 4 called The Evil Genius. But when it comes to pets, he's a big softie. Let's welcome to the Petcast, Russell Kane.
How you doing? You all right?
Have a seat.
Good.
Oh, who have you brought?
It's Brian, my Chihuahua.
Brian. Does he like treats?
Of course.
Yes, we've got little treats here, Brian. How are you going? Oh, he's a cutie. Absolutely beautiful.
He's child trained, so he's about as friendly as a Chihuahua can get, because I'm on this book tour and you might have like 200-300 children's hands reaching in.
Of course,
so it needs to be absolutely bulletproof.
Well, this is the famous Brian from...
This is the famous Brian from When Brian Met Terry.
When Brian Met Terry. The book's here. Here we go. I mean, you've seen this all day long, Brian, no doubt. How is he sort of coping with his... is it newfound fame, or would you say that he's been well known for a while?
No, I would say... Well, Brian came on the last book tour as well for Pet Selector.
Yeah.
So he's used to children and being in front of live audiences.
Yeah.
I do sometimes vary it up with his brothers, Pappy and Marty, as well.
Yeah, cool. How does he feel about that bit? Is he sort of getting his nose put out?
Pappy is the one that sort of, if 300 people start cheering, doesn't flinch, whereas Brian's a bit more nervous.
Yeah. No, I
likes stuff like this.
I understand this zone very well, Russell, because with Blue Peter, I had Blue Peter dog Meg. So I totally understand what it's like to take your dog places that everybody wants to go, oh, can I touch your dog? Can I stroke? And it can be, you know.
This age group's a different thing, though, because you're talking about 400 or 500 kids aged 4 to 7, whereas the last two, they were 7 to 11.
Yes.
It's very different.
Yeah.
It's different how you have to communicate. It's different how you have to perform.
Yeah.
And also when they rush the stage, they've got no boundaries at all.
Well, listen, you've got a Petcast mug. You did have one with your name on, but it smashed on the way here. So you've got one with my name on it.
Listen, you should know, anything with my name on it instantly smashes it.
Love it.
As you'll discover when you download.
Yeah. We've got some lovely photos here. Got a young Russell here.
That's my first cat, Albert, the Burmese cat, and that's given me a lifelong, as you can see, affection for Burmese cats. It's my current Burmese, Terry.
Yeah. Yes. Hence, also, obviously, when Brian Met Terry.
Brian's interspecies brother.
Yes.
And that's my first dog, a Yorkshire Terrier called Barney. But out of shot, there will be crickets and snakes and mice and God knows what.
It sounds like you obviously had quite a mix of animals in your life. What's the sort of earliest memory? Is it dogs? Is it that first dog there, or would it be the cat?
The first Albert I got for my 5th birthday. So I look like I'm about 9 or 10 there. So that puts Albert at 4 or 5.
Wow! And he was given to you, was he?
My mum and dad wanted to get a cat, and then we'd heard about these cats that are more like dogs.
Yeah.
That sort of fetch and recall, and then we went to the lady's house, and that's exactly what these Burmese cats were like. So it's just they're not like other cats. I've got 2 other breeds. I've got a Devon Rex and a Ragdoll. But these cats greet you. They're waiting when you come in from work. He's clicker trained Terrier. I can click, we come straight back. The only thing they don't do is they don't need to be walked, although they do walk on leads. And they bury their own poo. So when I'm speaking to families and they're like, I want a dog, and the mum's like, we can't. I say, consider the Burmese cat if you're not allergic and you like cats, because you'll get that dog-like companionship, but with a cat. Yeah. The only negative is you should probably consider keeping it as a house cat, because they're a bit too friendly. They will go to strangers and things like that.
They'll migrate off to other people that feed
There are
them.
things you can do. You can cat-proof gardens, which is what we've done. So our cat can go out in the garden but doesn't leave the garden.
Yeah. So how do you, you mentioned a clicker there. So obviously you're marking a behaviour when you see the cat do something, and then you give it a treat then to reinforce that. Is that how you've trained? Did you get obsessed with training the cats then?
Trainable cats learn a lot quicker than dogs.
Wow. Did you discover that at this age then? Did you train this cat? That we're looking at just with the picture of you as a young lad. We didn't
train him, but we realised that his recall and intelligence and emotional intelligence was similar to the dog.
Right.
The downside of that with the Burmese cat is they're quite they're like dogs. You get the abandonment issues, the separation anxiety. They can be quite naughty and they can be quite jealous as well, which is what led to the book I wrote for kids, the story of Terry navigating his jealousy because this puppy has arrived.
It's come in,
Which could be a 4-year-old with a baby arriving, or it could be an older child. Someone's joining the friendship group that threatens them. You can read the book in several ways.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that moment where you were cuddling Brian, and then you noticed Terry underneath
the eyes,
and that moment where you said,
it was horrible. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But then when Terry got ill, in inverted commas, I didn't join the dots. I went through I think 1,500 quid's worth of X-rays to realise.
Did you?
I was insured, thank goodness. There's nothing wrong with this cat. His heart is just breaking.
Oh.
But it's all good now.
And you said actually that you didn't realise at the time, but when you finished writing the book, that's when you discovered that it was relevant to other parts of your life, and people could relate it to.
Well, it's only as I was writing it, I was thinking, that reminds me of what happened to me when my brother came home from the hospital when I was 4. In fact, I think that's the experience of most children aged 4 to 7 when a new sibling arrives. It's like a sort of a deceit. How dare you? Oh, it's been me and you for 4 years. What you do? What's this?
Yeah.
And a lot of parents have had that experience. You have to take the new baby to the bathroom with you because very often the toddler's like Ted Bundy in the corner thinking, let me just look after it. I just want to see what its brains taste like, Mum. So, yeah. I tried to run over my brother with a trike, apparently, when I was 3, just to squash the invader. And the cat's the same.
So what did you learn from that process then? For those people who are thinking of bringing a pet into their household, listening to this, what advice would you give them with regards to that introduction? I know we do it quite a lot in our house.
You just got to remember their primary sense is smell. Yeah. So when you go to visit the puppy, or Brian was a rehome at 8 months, but we still did a pre-visit, send a sock or have the breeder an old blanket and bring it back and put that into the animal's space. It might even hiss at the blanket, but better it gets a lot of that out of its system, the olfactory wariness out of the way.
Yeah.
Side-by-side crates I find useful. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't expect too much too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Patience is always key. Now, you mentioned at the start, you said, out of shot there'd be sort of stick insects and this, that.
Yeah.
So that world of animals that you grew up in, how did that happen? Was that something that you were passionate about? Were those things that were brought into the house? Or
no, it was something I was always pushing the boundaries and asking for snakes and all that. But my dad, who was just a typical miserable say no to everything dad, just had a soft spot for animals.
Right.
Even though he was a knuckle dragger. We would hit a bird if we're in the full Granada, and he would pull over just to be with the bird as it's beat its final beats of its heart and cry. Something like Lenny out of Mice and Men or something.
Right.
So
he had a very soft heart for animals then.
He was easy to manipulate to get the animals we wanted.
Right.
One of the only times he was.
Oh, and what things did you have as a young lad then?
Crickets. I wanted to get a send off for crickets in a box and keep them in an aquarium in the shed, and he said yes. I was like, what? So I sent off for 1,000 crickets, and you just learn so much as a child, taking care of something like that, or a reptile. You're sort of in charge, really. Your parents are like, it's yours, you're going to take care of it, and you learn so much.
That responsibility and
animal husbandry. And they don't live very long, but there was always 20 that just wouldn't die at the end, but they're all really manky, old, sort of the right wing crickets left. Oh, I remember there's all grasshoppers now. We need to get it's changed round here. I ain't even rubbing my legs anymore. And then so I fed them to my snake.
To your snake? You had a snake?
I got a snake called Oscar.
Right.
And with the sort of miserable crickets that wouldn't die, I thought, circle of life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was the story with your snake then?
Oscar is a garter snake. It's a great snake for a beginner.
Yeah.
They're like a yellow stripes, black snakes.
Where did he live?
In the garage.
He was in the garage,
In the garage. There's enough room to get my dad's car in. And we lived in a council house, but we bought it and my dad extended it, so he had a garage. And so Oscar lived in there, but we couldn't afford all we could afford was adapted aquariums. The aquariums have gaps, so there was the odd escape. Oh. And then when I got my stick insect called Ram.
Where did he end up? I mean, what sort of place did he?
He would always head somewhere warm, so it was easy to find. But the Rambo, I got a stick insect called Rambo, and he was amazing. He literally looked like a leaf, but the gap was so small that my we thought we were doing the right thing. We put all this tape around the outside. Of course, the sticky was facing in. So, I mean, of all the ways for a sticky insect to go, the most ironic death is to get stuck to some sticky tape. I don't want to do a sad ending, but let's just say his torso was fine. That's as much as I can dress it up. I know.
No.
You just saw him go, I can get out of this.
I remember I looked after the school stick insects over summer, actually, and they came home with us in that there was like a tank with like a blue top on it, and the responsibility of keeping these stick insects alive for the entire class. What was it? What do you think it was about that? Did you enjoy the responsibility of looking after them, keeping them alive? Were you fascinated by what they did?
Just obsessed with creatures. I mean, I'm just obsessed with animals and creatures. I think it's in all of us.
Yeah.
I think we just have bad experiences, or we get cultural things put upon us that change how we perceive animals. But mostly, I think children's emotional well-being is improved by having some sort of creature in the house. Now, economically and logistically, it's not possible for every family. You might be in a tower block, single parent, have no money. There's all these different reasons why. But I think ultimately, your life is enriched by animals. But I mean, dogs have evolved with us. We were eating meat in the caves, and we realised if we kept wolves, they would help us hunt. And the wolves realised how they give us some of the leftover meat. So this partnership started to develop. And then in the cold, where humans were colder, we got pulled along on the snow or whatever.
Yeah.
We got protection.
Beneficial for both parties, absolutely.
But over time, the one thing that dogs have genetically that wolves do not have is on their face. Not a lot of people know this, and it is eyebrows. Brian has eyebrows. Isn't that right, Brian? So you can read his emotions. So he can adjust his eyebrows to communicate emotion. Those muscles serve no other purpose. They don't communicate to other dogs. They only communicate to humans. They were evolved to emotionally manipulate people. And the more expressive the eyebrow, the more we protect the dog, the more we love it, the more we feed it. You're being manipulated, literally being emotionally manipulated by your dog.
It works for me every day.
Now, cat owners, this is even more shocking.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people think, right, they move into a house, they get a cat, and they're discovering all the mice that were there. Thank God all these mice that are in the garden. That's not what's happening. Most gardens in suburbia have roughly the same amount of mice and rats. And when you move in, you probably notice that your cat doesn't catch many mice at first, but then after about a year, they start catching more mice. And that's because in a cat's saliva, feces, and every part of its body is a hormone that very, very subtly interacts with rodent brain to make it more daring. So a mouse that has been in contact with cat hormone and saliva will linger on the lawn a little bit longer. No one's going to eat me, Terry. And of course, he gets eaten. It has a slight effect on humans as well. So statistically, cat owners are involved in more accidents and more daring behaviours. That is a medical, scientific fact. Get on your AI, check it. They produce something in their saliva. It's not like intoxicating. It's not like ayahuasca levels of intoxication. It's a very, very subtle statistical trend towards cat owners to have more daring behaviour.
Wow.
So you're being emotionally controlled by your dog and chemically controlled by your cat.
Yeah.
If you have both, you're both being controlled by a narcissist and you're daring.
Yeah, cool. That's me.
Or just working telly and you get it every day from your producer.
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting thinking back to that power and maybe what you saw, like when you were looking at your dad and the way he was reacting to animals that, as you say, was, alpha male, whatever, but actually something about animals cut through and they could control him.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like a hack into the male brain. We know women have a facility and a willingness to express his emotion and explore it, but a lot of men are locked. Not around animals.
I mean, I've listened to you on podcasts talk about how you started reading and suddenly, this world opened up to you and you've taken on so much information and this obsession with just taking on board all of this stuff. When did the dog or animals come into that? And when did you start feeding off all
I
of the
can't remember.
dog information.
I've got no memory of not being into animals. All I know is when I was little, there was like the weird kid in the class that knew what every flag was.
Yeah.
I was like that with dog breeds.
Well, yeah.
But even now, I can say that's a Norfolk Terrier. That's a. The results I've had here. People are like, you won't know what my dog is. You won't have heard of it. Well, that's a Whitehead Vizsla.
Yeah, nice.
That's a Dandy Dinmont. The Dandy Dinmont owners are like, well, no one's ever guessed that. So I'm a bit sort of nerdy. I've always been nerdy with my dog breeds, and then I sort of started learning all the cat breeds as well.
Yeah. Have you got that massive Kennel Club Breeders book?
I've got lots of equivalent ones. Of course, I've written my own one, Pet Selector.
Of course you have, Pet Selector, which you did for kids, yeah.
For kids. So I only put 20 of each in there.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a second one at some point with more dog breeds in it.
Yeah. But that's like brilliant bedtime reading. I mean, I was lucky enough to work on Crufts actually for a good few years, and I did like the Red Button service. So I sat with Frank Kane. I don't know if you've heard of Frank Kane. He's a brilliant commentator that you hear on Crufts from up north, Middlesbrough way. And we would just sat there for hours and hours and hours, and all the dog breeds that came through, we would just commentate on that Red Button for hours and hours and hours. But it's a total fascination.
Yeah, well, I wrote Pet Selector because people choose their dog breed for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
What's cute?
Yeah.
Or like it's a brand. I think dog breeds can be like a brand. So if I've got a Basset Hound, I'm trying to signal barbour jacket country living. But you've got people that are trying to signal those social qualities, but they live in a flat. I've got a Labrador because I'm trying to signal something about my person. You shouldn't be trying to signal anything. You should be matching the dog breed to your energy, spatial and economic resources, and also your willingness for how much training. Every dog has a difficult to train out of 10. Easiest dog, in my opinion, I'm only an amateur sleuth, is Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Probably a 3 out of 10. Still needs a lot of work. If you really haven't got the time and you want the easiest ride, go for a breed like that. Yeah. Chihuahua scores 0 on all the other, 0 space, no food, doesn't like to be walked. It's an 8 out of 10 to train.
Why did you want to go for a Chihuahua?
I didn't. That's the point. If I'd have gone with my ego and my aesthetics, I'd go for a...
No, but you could choose one not thinking of your ego. You could think, well,
I would go for a Cocker Spaniel or a Labrador.
Yeah.
But I know I don't want to walk 2 hours in the icy cold. No. I'm like you. I'm doing podcast, TV, stand-up. I'm rehearsing Romeo and Juliet at the moment. I'm in the Shakespearean play. I don't have the resources...
Yeah.
On a freezing day to get out of bed an extra hour early. I have to exercise to stay in shape. I've just been a fitness model last month. I've got a lot going on. I have to be honest. In showbiz environments, there's places that are sort of, do we allow dogs, don't we? You turn it with a Dalmatian, you ain't getting in there. Yeah. Turn it with a Chihuahua, yeah, go on. Terry's not on duty today. He normally hates dogs. You can go in you go. I can take 2 dogs into a 1-dog hotel room. Sometimes it's 1 dog per room. I've got Chihuahuas. You're all right then. People just let you off loads of rules because of the size. Yeah. My daughter and my wife, obviously, we want a tiny, cute dog. But am I toxically masculine enough to have wanted a bigger dog? Yes. That was until I walked down the street with it. Because all my friends were winding me up. Oh, you get a proper dog like a Staffy or something. They don't need much. Ain't you embarrassed? Walking down the street with that. And then, of course, they go on one walk with me, and all it is just a queue of really attractive women that want to stroke my dog and talk to me. So, actually, if you can get past it, lads, some dogs are rehomed because of divorce and change of circumstances, but most dogs are rehomed because you did not select the right pet. You didn't match properly. You might have needed a cat, not a dog.
I mean, it's interesting that of all the things that you could have started with when you were writing for children, that animals was the thing that you went to.
Well, funnily enough, I didn't. I had a meeting, a non-fiction publisher. I was so busy. I was like, why would I want to write for children? I love writing. It wasn't like an aspiration, but this non-fiction children's publisher's like, well, we think you'd be you're good at explaining ideas in a clear way. What would you write for this age group? Because they knew my daughter was that age. And I'm like, well, I would like to write this. So people could understand their little boys better. And I presented 3 ideas, but I just happened to have Terry, my cat, on my lap. And they were like, what type of cat is that? It's beautiful. And I was sort of bringing it to life with a silly description of his personality. And they went, write that. So it's really, Pet Selector is a translation book. I've translated existing descriptions, like from your Crufts book, and translated them into 7-year-old funny. Yeah. Which is a particular language.
And it was a big seller, wasn't it?
It was ridiculous. It was like at one point, only for 48 hours, but it counts. I think I was there and then Harry Potter was beneath me. I love that.
Yeah.
For a non-fiction, that's incredible.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you went when you left home then, and then you had this choice, obviously, of what animals you wanted in your life. You'd gone off, because you had an interesting career, sort of in advertising and all of that.
Yeah.
Did you have animals through that period in your life?
Always. I've never ever lived without a pet in any home I've ever lived in, including my first one where I had to sign a contract that said no cats and dogs, £1,000 fine.
Wow.
And I say to the children, what mistake did that landlord make there? Didn't say no animals.
Just cats
it
and dogs.
said no cats and dogs. So I got a house rabbit called Barbara, like that French lop. And if they're handled from very small, they are extremely loving. Wow. And jump up.
But you'd never had a rabbit before that, so you were like, right, I'm going to have a rabbit.
Yeah. I wanted something furry that greeted me when I came in.
Yeah.
And I was single at the time, so this was the only option. And I thought, right, I can't get a dog because the neighbours will grass me up.
Yeah.
Cat might meow, and I'm not going to get a moggy because no disrespect to moggies, but I need that Burmese feedback. And they're like, I couldn't risk it. Rabbits are silent unless they're very scared. And I thought, get a French lop. It's like that. Barbara, you go to a proper breeder, just the same as you would with a dog.
Yeah.
Do not get a house rabbit from a pet shop. It needs to be handled from when it's a tiny bunny. And honestly, it greets you, jumps up, cuddles, no biting, no clawing, lets you clip its neck. It's just a full pet.
Wow. And you obviously, you had like litter trays and all that.
Yeah, you have a triangular shaped litter tray because if you dump a rabbit in the middle of a room, it will find a corner it feels safe with and it will only poo and wee in that corner. Oh. So you wait for it to pick a corner and then you get like a triangular shaped litter tray which goes into the corner.
Wow.
That's obviously they down again, your little circular one drops out as they're running across. But
yeah,
vegan poo is no one minds. No one minds. No one minds a vegan poo. It doesn't smell. Literally, you can put it on your plants and it'll grow.
So
do not put a carnivore's poo on your plant.
And that went. How did that go? Did it go well?
It was great. Yeah,
it worked out.
Well, they don't live very long. That's the only thing. They only live like 2, 3, 4 years. Rabbits, but a French lop is extremely chilled. I tell this story to the kids, and it's completely and utterly true. I moved out of the no pet at all place, and I was in a downstairs house conversion in Walthamstow, London, which was an exciting up and coming suburban area.
Oh, good for you! Yeah,
and I still have my Barbara rabbit, and so during the day I think Barry might even have been there by then. Another rabbit I got. I would go to work, and I set up my bathroom because it's one of those old Victorian houses as their sort of bedroom during the day with another litter tray, so they were happy in there. That's the advantage of them having small brains. They don't really get bored. Some of my cousins from Essex. And
Russell.
Well, it's true. Have you ever? I'm so jealous of thick people. They're never bored and they never get upset. I don't know. Have you ever met a bored footballer? Never. It's quite nice. There was some lights and colours and sounds, and yeah, it's all right. That. But it's a nightmare, isn't it? And anyway, so I went to work and I came back from work and there was a hole in the glass window of my lounge and my front door was slightly open. I was like, I've been robbed. No, I had no lock on the doors, no chub lock. Not only that, but I was in the middle of trying to write a book at the time. I was in the advertising. I'd left my laptop on the table. I have no idea why I had cash. Maybe I've done an extra job for cash or something. I don't know what I would have done, but I had, it might have been like 600-700 quid's worth of cash in the house, which was unusual even then. And I'd left them both, like an idiot, literally on the kitchen table for any burglar that might help themselves for electronics and cash. I walked in. I first thought as the animals, they're completely fine. Peeped in, closed the door again. Went to the kitchen, cash is there. Laptop's there. I went back to the glass and you could see the footprints of the burglar. They'd come in through the glass, walked around into my hallway and let themselves out my front door. I was like, what the hell has gone on there? So I went back into the lounge to knock the rest of the glass out. And as the glass made the sound, I heard what the burglar must have heard. And rabbits, to communicate over long distances, which is why a lot of them are called thumper, they communicate like it's called a morse with their feet.
Oh, wow.
They will growl as well if they're scared enough. It's a horrible noise. A rabbit growl. Really they have to be really distressed. So what happened is, it was a Victorian house with like plastic lino and a cavity under the floor. So this burglar, obviously may have been on some substances of some kind, has broken in and just heard from French Lop's foot, like about 14, 15 inches long. Like
a baseball bat then.
Sorry, Brian. He'd heard that come from the bathroom and just gone, do you know what? I'm going to leave this stuff. It's gone.
Yeah.
So my house was protected by a guard rabbit. Kids love that story. So I tell it on the book tour. They absolutely love it. And it's completely true.
Yeah.
So people spend all this money training Rottweilers.
Get a rabbit.
But if a burglar hears thudding and growling from a bathroom, they are gone.
Yeah. That's
incredible.
Yeah.
I would never have worked it out if the rabbit hadn't done it to me, because I'd never heard her make that noise. It's weird how the rabbit knew.
It's time to tell you a little bit more about our sponsor, Harrington's Dog Food. Now, of course, if you have dogs, they are part of the family, so it's only right that we pay as much attention as to what's going into their bowl as we do with our food. And that is why Harrington's superfood range is made with freshly prepared meat ingredients and boosted with carefully selected superfoods to support your dog's everyday health. Shop the range at harringtonspetfood.com and at leading grocery and pet retailers nationwide. So your life as a dad then, it was obviously very important to you to have pets in the family so that your daughter could experience.
It's non-negotiable. I cannot live without animals. When the time comes and I have to go into a nursing home, I will not be interested in going somewhere that's not pet friendly.
Yeah.
I'll start my life with animals and I'll finish them with animals.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we're going back to that thought of what we were talking about earlier on, actually, and that kind of that therapeutic side of what animals can give you, and that sort of the feeling that you get, the memories. I mean, even just watching people sometimes with dementia, they remember, they connect with animals in those chapters in their lives. That it's beyond words. It's a feeling.
And it is measurable, though. If you look at someone's blood pressure and heart rate and everything when they're stroking an animal versus when they're not. Yeah. People that don't have phobias, I mean, you can literally measure it in the body. Yeah. It's not fully understood why. I mean, I can understand why we've evolved to need dogs to help us do work. Yeah. But how they've evolved to lower our blood pressure and calm us, we have no idea. It might just be an accidental benefit of having domesticated them. Yeah. Yeah. Was it helpful for you I'm just looking at this picture of Colin here. To take him on tour with you and to be on stage and have him with you. Yeah. In whatever way that was, about you feeling better, less nervous, whatever. I think it's company. Yeah. As well. Even I'm talking the whole time I'm in the hotel room instead of just like staring forward on my own waiting for the next show. Yeah. I've got the dog, and you sort of go into dad mode. It turns off quite a lot of toxic behaviours. Yeah. The only negative with this breed, because they're not food motivated, that means they don't always poo and wee on command. A pug's great. In goes the food, out comes the poo. Yeah. Conks out. But if I've just done a gig in Loughborough and then driven to London and it's 1 a.m. and I'm waiting to check into the hotel, I'd need come on, go to the loo. It's another 10-minute walk around the block at 1 a.m. before I can get into my hotel room. And then when you wake up in the morning, straight into the elevator, down 5 flights, you're in the public eyes, people are wanting to say hello and all of that. I just need a dog that's going to out the door, go. So Pappy, the youngest one, is the best one for that. Brian and Marty, it's not the right spot, I need to sniff. And it's like, dude, 15 minutes, I've just woken up. That's negative. It's not so bad if I'm in a hotel room that's got like a courtyard set up where I can just open a door. It's, you know, but mostly I'm in a city in like a Hyatt or something that's pet friendly, 17 floors up. Yeah. And I just refuse to use puppy pads. I think it's too confusing for them. I mean, dogs and animals, also all the animals that you've talked about, have obviously meant so much to you in your life. How do you cope when it's their time is up? And it depends how old they are. It was a bit. Colin was one night of crying and then relief, really. He's just like blind, incontinent, living behind a gate. Yeah. You knew it was coming. Like, it was better for him. Still eating. I was like, when your dog stops eating, you'll know. But pugs don't stop eating. Right. They're like fully like legs gone, blind, and still chewing. They just continue to process food. So I thought, I'm just going to have to take a call here on quality of life. The vet agreed with me. 14 years, and he tied in, I won this award. It was all sort of tied together with the start of my career, and it's all sort of woven. Meeting Lindsay, And my wife, I think Colin was like 6 months when I met my wife. So it's all sort of tied up in all those milestone-y type stuff.
Yeah.
So it was maybe 48 hours of upset. And then I was fine. The same with my grandparents. I've just lost my granddad this year. Instead of grieving for ages, when it's someone's old, you sort of can get, it feels more like justified that nature has come to collect the paycheck. Doesn't mean you love someone any less, but there's not that what I call injustice grief. Injustice grief is when someone's taken early. But all types of grief are horrible. But when someone is 60 instead of 80, and they, like my dad, they worked their whole lives and didn't get to retire, there's an anger and an injustice grief in it. And it's exactly the same with pets. So the cat who I had the closest relationship with probably was a Tonkinese cat called Wayne. And I had Keith and Wayne at the same time. In fact, it's probably not a coincidence. Wayne looked very much like Albert. He was a cream-coloured Tonkinese. Tonkinese are like Burmese on steroids. Right. Like they won't even tolerate you being asleep. They come and tap your face when your eyes open. They just want to be held and interact, and extremely close to this cat. And they're notoriously long livers. So I've got 17, 18 years here. You're going to think 12 is a grand old age, but I just wasn't expecting it. There was no, this cat just wasn't ill.
Right.
It was a young cat still playing, even though he was 12, and then just 48 hours gone. And we never found out why. The cat just died. God, it took me weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks. I think I was mental, like some mental sort of single lady living in a flat that never married. And the cat was her whole life. And I found out before I was about 10 minutes. I'd taken him to the vets thinking, well, vet's like, yeah, he's picked up. We put him on a drip. Call us tomorrow. And then unfortunately, the please don't contact me before I'm about to go on stage protocol broke down.
Oh, dear.
And as I'm about to go headline something like V or something huge, I think I found out 10 minutes before. And I was like, oh. So I just
now go and be funny.
Yeah, exactly. Not easy.
Oh,
but
man.
Mostly, as long as the animal is old, I'm sort of okay with it. I'm quite philosophical about death. It's like birth. It's it's part of life.
And do you choose to get them cremated? Or
Yes,
do you go to
there's urns all over my office. There's the shelf of doom. There's a little bit of fur and a paw print and an urn. I don't know how many there are now.
I mean, it's amazing the stuff you can get, though, isn't it? To remember them by these days, and hair that you can get pressed into sort of rings and bits of jewellery and all sorts.
But Wayne was so bad, Wayne the Tonkinese, I actually went, I can't believe I actually did this, to be with the body before it was. I mean, that's so extreme. I've never done that with anything. They said, look, he's on ice.
What do you mean you went?
Well, they're like, he's on. We haven't cremated him yet, but he still looks presentable if you want to come and see him. Because I just couldn't get my head around he was dead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it. So I actually went and did like traditional sort of Greek or Middle Eastern sobbing over the body.
I get it.
I went completely crazy over that one.
Yeah,
so it's weird, isn't it? But with my dogs, I've been lucky. They've made old age, and I'm just it's a mixture of relief grief, I call it.
Yeah.
Same as when your 90-year-old nana who's not had her marbles for 10 years ago. You're sad, but if she'd have expressed it, she's ready.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I mean, and it is a huge commitment, isn't it, when you get another pet, because you're in it again, like emotionally, you're all in. You're like ready to give everything to this animal, this pet, and you're not only going to look after it every single day, but then you're going to be hit.
It's the other thing to think about with dogs is they have very different lifespans based on the breed, but they all bring you in equally emotionally. In fact, some of the bigger dogs might even bring you in more intensely. Chihuahuas have a degree of, they're supposed to, mine don't have a degree of independence. But if you get a Great Dane or something, or a Newfoundland, that is a relationship intensity like you can't imagine.
Yeah.
You get 8 years, maybe.
Aye.
Maybe 9. But it's just something to bear in mind. Chihuahua is 15 to 17.
Yeah.
You get a lot more bang for your buck. It's a weird thing about in nature. So the larger the species, the longer it lives. So elephants live for ages, giant tortoises live for ages, a mosquito doesn't live for very long at all. But within a species, the smaller lives longest. So even though the elephant is one of the longest living species, a smaller elephant will live longer than a bigger elephant.
Yeah.
And it's the same within dogs. Dogs are a relatively short living species, like maybe 15, 20 years. but the smaller ones will live longer. And in humans too. So human beings, we live to about 90 years, but taller humans live less lifespans than shorter humans, which makes me so happy, ladies, that you spend your whole life lusting after 6'4" Gary, and I'll be in the nursing home with all the hot nanas. So have that. Have that. Bucket of blue pills and a queue of nanas.
Oh, Russell, brilliant. Right, mate, you are obviously very well read. Would you like a go at the Petcast quiz?
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to.
There's
Brian,
only
you can
one
help.
thing. There's winning or learning. You can watch animals and you can learn from animals.
Yeah.
You get like a pure example of behaviour, and sometimes human beings can learn. And I get a lot of men and women reaching out to me because I appear to be a very confident chap. Like I'm doing Shakespeare for the first time this year. I hear this all the time. Well, I wouldn't have the confidence to do that. And I cannot get this message across enough. You've only got to watch a mother dog teaching its puppies. You don't have the confidence to do things. You get confidence from doing things you don't currently have the confidence for. So some people spend their whole lives doing nothing because they think they are the people that don't have the confidence. You're not. You're just someone that hasn't realised that by pushing yourself into the uncomfortable area, you might hate it, you might shake, you might fail, but you'll be left, if you've done it right, with a 1 to 2% net increase in your overall confidence. So I always say, whether it's a pet quiz or playing Romeo, which I will do, you've got to throw yourself in to fail and enjoy the failure. And that's why I like what Elizabeth Day does. I don't know if you listen to her show, How to Fail.
No.
She gets people on that have achieved amazing things, but they're only allowed to talk about their three biggest failures and what it taught them, because successful people are people that have weathered failure. They're not genetically weird.
Do you know, I remember on the one show, we had Richard Branson came on, we're chatting away in the green room, and he said, like, I'm probably one of the most unsuccessful people that you will ever have met.
Yeah.
And on the face of it sounds utterly bonkers. But he said, the amount of things that I've tried that haven't worked, and the few things that have made me, you know.
The clue was there. Anyone who tries something for the first time is going to call themselves virgin. Yeah. Crack on.
Your quick wit will get you through it, mate. It will. Right, so what behaviour do cats share with giraffes?
Cats share with giraffes. I have no idea.
It's the way they walk.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, cats and giraffes walk by moving the front and back feet on one side first, then both feet on the other side.
Those and Germans in 1936.
So they walk... They sort of walk like they're on a cross trainer.
Yeah.
What was unusual about Harvey, the snake that actor Nicolas Cage once owned?
What was unusual about it? Did it have two heads?
It did have two heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had two heads.
That was a guess, but I know two-headed snakes are relatively common.
Well, he paid $80,000 for this particular snake. And he bought it after he had a dream about a two-headed eagle.
Right. That's such a Nicolas Cage dream, isn't it? I bet he was in like leather pajamas when he had that dream, and his two assistants, Dominique and Donna.
I am asking you hard questions here, Russell. I'm sorry. Do you know what the term for a male pet mouse is?
I didn't even know mouse had like
names for
the bitch and dog type thing. I don't. Stag?
Very close. It's a buck.
Buck.
Yeah.
I thought it would be something deer related.
And I'll finish with an equally difficult question that who knows if you know the answer to this one. But US President Abraham Lincoln had a pair of pets that roamed freely around the White House. What were they? A little clue. He did sort of...
Well, he was all for liberating things, so I'm surprised he kept anything at all.
He sort of modelled himself upon their appearance.
Right. Were they bearded dragons?
No. They were goats.
Goats.
There we are.
At least they were hard rather than patronisingly easy.
There you go. It's been great to chat to you, Russell.
Thank you.
And thanks for bringing Brian.
No, thank you for
he's enjoyed it. It looks like he's enjoyed it. It's very chilled.
I can feel all my sinuses have returned in the safe haven of the caravan.
Listen,
so thank
you can stay here. You
back
can
out into the pollen.
Yeah.
It's like a pollen apocalypse outside. I need a palmo just to equalise my mood.
That is all we've got time for.
Thank you.
For this episode, if you've enjoyed what you've been hearing, then please look out for more from wherever you get your podcasts from. But from all of us here in the Cozy Caravan. Bye for now.
Bye.
Cheers, Brian.